Hey, it's Mother Funny Time with Andy and Angie.
2 cousins, 8 kids, 1 grandkid, 2 states.
And a whole lot of fun. Woo! Welcome back, Mother Funny Tribe. It's Angie and Andy.
Hey,
back at you today.
We're wearing our Mother Funny Tribe sweatshirts. Well, I guess they just say Mother Funny. Yay!
And it doesn't look like I have a dog this time, right? But guess what? Oh, I guess here he is.
George is here.
He's over there. So, Angie, what are we talking about today? Mother Funny.
This is
the
our
Influencer Podcast.
second recording that's on video. So that's something that we have to mention. That is super amazing.
It's big time for us, you guys. It's big time. We've caught up to the 2015. We're working our way up.
Who knows what's next? Hey, true story. You were the one who told me about YouTube. Do you remember this?
What?
Yes, you were the person.
No.
You were the person. First of all, shout out to your brother because he really showed me about the internet, which I'm sounding super old right now.
Well, we're older than you, and we were showing you technology.
He was. And I remember I'd asked him something, and he's like, oh, hey, let me just check out on the internet. And he did it, and he did it so fast. And I was like, oh my gosh, that information is there. For those of you moms that are 20, you're like, yeah, why is this amazing? But at the time, it was amazing. It was eye-opening. My whole life changed in that one moment, thanks to your brother, years and years and years ago.
Yay. Shout out to my brother, Chris Gleason. Let's give his name.
That's right.
Chris
Shout
Gleason.
out, Chris. Thank you for helping me. And now, all these years later, we're talking about it. No, and then when I had the twins, and I know we've talked about this in the past when they were 5 weeks old, and Ryan and Brooklyn and Riley ended up with the flu. So the pediatrician told me that I needed to leave with the twins because we didn't want to expose the twins to the flu. So I went over to Maggie's house and she literally took care of me so I could take care of the twins. And it was so amazing. She was so helpful, but they didn't have TV, like cable or any of that stuff.
Oh.
Netflix. I don't know if Netflix was around 8 years ago. It was, right?
Maybe it was discs. I don't know. Probably. Yeah, it was. I don't know.
Anyway,
Time.
and so I'd spent all this time nursing, but I was so bored because I had nothing to watch. I mean, because it's nursing 2 babies every 3 hours. And that's around the clock, I was up all the time and I was just bored in the middle of the night and stuff, just babysitting them. Not babysitting them.
I was babysitting the kids.
You know how it is.
I was like, when is my mom going to come and handle this?
When do I get paid?
Yeah. Better get a bonus this paycheck.
I'm still waiting for that payment. And I was nursing in the middle of the night. And then I was talking to you and we were texting and stuff. And you were like, well, check out YouTube. And I had never even heard of it.
Oh.
And so I started of course it's me. So I started watching Friends clips, clips of the Friends episodes, which tracks.
Aww.
And it made things so much more interesting. I mean,
oh, good.
I know I'm supposed to be that mom who's like, I loved nursing in silence in a dark room and bonding with my babies. And it was so beautiful in this moment, which it can be. But let's face it, sometimes nursing is really boring. And you just need to watch something.
Yes.
Let's have a truthful moment.
Yes. Oh, for sure. When I was nursing Daisy, it was back before DVRs and pausing and recording. So it was just live TV. And at the time, in the middle of the day, I had all the shows I would watch. In the morning, it was Price is Right. We'd watch while we nursed. And then there were some teen dramas like Sweet Valley High. And this one called Breaker High, which had Ryan Gosling as a teenager, and he played a geeky teenager. It was a very short-lived show, but I would watch those while I nursed, and yeah, I would watch TV. In fact, my little boppy pillow had a little spot for the remote.
Yes.
We didn't even have real phones then, so it was made to have a remote so you could watch TV while you nursed.
I used to watch Regis and Kelly. Remember Regis and Kelly? They were my favorite.
Yes, she's still on.
She is now.
That's neither here nor
with her husband, and I guess it's great. I don't watch it anymore. Yay, Kelly.
You watch YouTube.
She's amazing, but I really love
unboxing videos.
Or like Hoda and Kathy Lee. I used to watch Hoda and Kathy Lee back in the day,
Aw.
which they're both still alive too. They're just not on together anymore. But yes, today we are
Okay.
talking about influencers and all the things influencers and how it affects our children, could affect us as moms.
And we were kind of giving you a teaser last time that this time we're going to also talk about skinfluencers. Like there's this new thing too where 10 to 12-year-olds are obsessed with Sephora and spending like hundreds of dollars at Sephora and like TikToking their purchases. Like they'll go through Sephora and put all this product that most of us like we're not buying for ourselves, but these 10-year-olds, they're taking money, from their parents, or I'm assuming they don't have a lot of jobs at 10 to 12 unless they're getting paid for it. But it's spreading, like they're becoming influencers who are spreading this trend. And now all of a sudden, these kids are buying skincare and really expensive products for their faces.
Did you know the generation from 2010 on is called Generation Alpha? I didn't know that. I've recently found out.
I heard
Yeah,
that.
how cool is that? I mean, like
I like
Gen
it.
X,
GA.
Generation Alpha.
GA.
It's pretty cool. Like that's a cool name. So I'm excited for them for their super cool name. But it's really hitting.
Let's keep it positive.
It's really hitting this Generation Alpha.
Gen Alpha.
Yes, Gen Alpha kids, which is kind of cool because Riley literally was born January 2010. So I was like, oh, she's right there. She's right there.
She's one of the first alphas.
Yeah, which is super cool. But we went to go at Christmas time to buy a gift card, 2 gift cards for some teenage girls down the street for Christmas. Riley and I walked into Sephora. Oh my gosh, it was out of control, that smell. Because, like when you go to the mall and there's like the sprays, like it's a bigger building, it's ventilated, it's spaced out. People are like constantly spraying themselves in a small little area. Dude, instantly we were like, we couldn't even breathe. We like got headaches. Like it was out of control.
Oh,
But
my
you could
goodness.
see there was a lot of these kids there. I mean, young kids testing out the products, talking about it. They're saying this Gen Alpha generation or group of kids, especially the preteen teens, like they even know what the ingredients are to these products. I mean, they know way more
Oh.
about these products than you and I ever would have known at that age.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. What did we use? Wet and Wild was big. I think I used my mom's Avon. My mom sold Avon. I had no idea. It was probably just straight cancer in those. I don't know what was in those products.
Clinique
but yeah,
was
we spent
huge.
$1. Clinique was like when I got older, like teens. Clinique was if you had money.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That wasn't for your average person. Clinique was fancy. Clinique was like, yeah. But now,
Because this stuff is expensive. Like some of this stuff's like $60. And like my girls were talking about Drunk Elephant. And I'm like, what are you saying? Drunk Elephant? And they were like talking about it. And I was really confused. There's like a whole brand called Drunk Elephant. Why they chose that name and why you're having little 10-year-olds talk about I want Drunk Elephant. It's just a little hard to hear. It's a little much. Bubble, that's like a brand that's super popular right now. Do you know that Elf Beauty? It's ELF. I don't know if you're
yes.
supposed to say ELF or if you're supposed to say Elf Beauty. I'm not sure which one, how you're supposed to pronounce it. But literally,
Let's ask some 10-year-olds. They'll
like
know.
for Christmas, that's what girls wanted was Sephora or Ulta gift cards. And it was funny because I was thinking last year, like, because my kids usually get some money from my grandparents at Christmas time. And like last year, Brooklyn used her money at Christmas time that she got at Christmas time. And she used that to buy a Build-A-Bear. Like we went to Build-A-Bear. We spent a lot of time.
Aww.
Super cute. I think she named the bear Fluffy. Like super, super cute bear. In Build-A-Bear, you're there for a long time in general, right? Really fun day. And this time she did. She wanted to use her money for face products or skincare. It's not the makeup, but it's like literally all the products. And so we went and she was like showing me, I don't even know what half this stuff is. There's like a roller for your face. And then there's just all of these different like waters. Like there's a specific water that you're supposed to wash your face with or something. And then there's the toners and the serums. But these kids know all about it. And so I was asking her, like, how do you know all this? Like, this is surprising. But she said, Obviously, it's on YouTube. My kids don't have TikTok, but I have noticed even her and her friends sometimes, like, they will do their facial, like, regimens, and they videotape themselves, and then they, like, send it to their friends. Or it's
Oh,
teenagers who are creating these videos, and then the younger girls, like, they're just trying to act like them, or they're
fix
trying to
my
do
life.
what they have been have they what they've seen in the past, or what they've watched these teenage girls doing, and then they're repeating it. Now, some of it's excellent. Like, I think it is good to, like, take care of yourself, or like, "Hey, let's get these girls excited to wear, sunscreen." Like, that's awesome. Like,
Yes.
I'm so
Yes.
on board with that.
Look, you could probably see my sunspot right here.
I'm like, if you wanna wear tinted moisturizer, that's also SPF 15, shout out, so good. But you have to also make sure that it's age appropriate skincare. Is kind of what, like, the new warning of, like, the dermatologists and the pediatricians are saying, like, "Awesome that these girls are excited about it. If you wanna spend your money on it, it's super fun and you're enjoying it, it these girls are all, like, bonding over it and having fun conversations and video, like, that's super awesome, and, like, it's something fun for them to do. That's awesome, that's exciting, but just make sure that they're not putting, like, Retin-A on their face, or, products that maybe they shouldn't, that are just, a little bit too older or advanced for them at this age. It's kind of like now it's coming with a warning. But that was something that I was shocked about, was how quickly all of a sudden the skincare phase hit us. Because again, it was not that long ago where 10-year-olds were not excited about skincare.
No, we didn't. It was like we would hit maybe 12 or 13, and then we'd start getting the dots, like the little pimples, and we would just cover our faces with Noxema. Do you remember that? Like
Yes.
thick Noxema that like burned our skin off, and like those Stridex pads
Yes, they
like
burn.
burned our face. Like that's all we had. We had like chemicals that like stripped every good thing off our face and left us bright red so you couldn't tell what was pimple and what was just burned skin. And that's all we had. And then I remember being told like, yeah, you should put what's it like Vaseline on your hands at night and put gloves on or
I
something.
did
I don't
that,
know, but it was
yes.
just
I totally did
did
that because
you?
my hands would crack because they would get so dry, like, certain times of the year. So,
Oh.
literally, it was Vaseline with, like, mittens, and I would wear that to bed. I mean, and I was, like,
Aw.
7 or
So
8 doing that because, like, it would hurt, like, when your skin cracks, like, on your fingers or your
yeah.
knuckles, like, it hurts. Yeah, totally. Do you remember the toothpaste on the zit? Did you ever do that? Like, that was the
Yes.
phase?
Yes. And those things were so much more affordable. Like, did they work?
Yes.
Vaseline works. Vaseline on your hands works. But yeah, now everything is so expensive. Like, and I think that's one of the dangers. I agree with you that, like, the positive things that influencers can do are great. Like, I want to encourage that. I want to encourage sunscreen. I want to encourage having fun together. I want to encourage learning how to take care of yourself. I like the whole push for anti bullying. I like mental health influencers to a degree. Like, there's a lot of awareness now on how to help anxious kids and how to love people where they are. So I love those things. And I would love to, like, if my kids were younger going through this, I would love to foster those things. Like, what are some good things that we can really get into? But as far as like the Sephora and Ulta, like that's fun stuff. And and how fun is it to go with your daughters to a makeup store and have like a girly moment? But when it becomes like it's just hundreds of dollars for these kids. And then there's the pressure to look a certain way or to be a certain way or to have the perfect skin and now like younger and younger influencers are getting like plastic surgery or like Botox and lip injections. Like I'm seeing 17-year-olds with total lip injections. And I don't know, like that's the other side. Like there's the fun side, the take care of yourself side, but then the other side is like just dangerous for your mental health. It's dangerous for your body, like the things that are being injected or put on. Like you even said about like the ingredients these kids are putting on that aren't good for their skin. Yeah, and just the materialism and there's kids are now having more and more body dysphoria from all the influencers they're watching and all the fake stuff out there. And everyone is super beautiful and skinny and flawless skin, cute outfits. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a
It's
lot.
this idea of, especially like if you're an influencer on like Instagram, because they can take that picture and then filter it, change it. And then when it's posted, well, that picture looks so different than what it originally looked like. But when you have preteens and teens looking at that picture, they're actually thinking that that's reality. They're not fully
Right.
seeing how unrealistic that was. I mean, sure, kids will be like, oh, yeah, it's a filter, whatever. But they don't know the length that went into creating that picture. Right? And so if that is to them is something to aspire to, well, that's actually unrealistic. That's not real life. So it kind of
Right.
takes out that realistic piece to life. And then if that's what I want to be like that person, well, you want to be like someone that's doesn't even exist because it's been so filtered or changed,
Mm.
or they are saying those specific things because they're getting paid to say those specific things, or they're using that specific
Right.
product in that video that you just watched that was 4 minutes because they got paid so much money to say that they use that product or to show that product, when in actuality, they might not ever use that product. They might not have even known about that product until a company came to them and said, hey, if you use this product and take a video or a picture, we'll give you such and such amount. Well, sure. I mean, and the influencers, they're like, sure, we'll just make some money. I mean, do they care? Not really. I mean, okay, let me change that. I'm sure some care. I'm sure there are people who are care and are
Yeah.
passionate about what they are promoting. 100%. I think that.
Right.
There are those other people, though, who think, well, I'll just take the money. I'll post a video with a product. I get paid for it. Okay, that's my job. Like, and that is their job. So they're just doing their job, regardless of if they use that product or not. But working with kids and teenagers and preteens or even young adults to really show them and talk with them about, well, what is reality, what isn't reality, what do you think, and kind of like asking kids those questions might help them navigate through that. We don't want to sit there and point out someone else's flaws, that's not the point, but to
Yeah.
show them where is the reality and then where is the like the fake part of this, or the part that's not reality, and try to show them that.
I would just tell my kids to call everyone a nudie nudie. I mean, if you want a solution, if you want a quick fix, everyone causing trouble, they're a nudie nudie. No, I like it. I don't also want to put down celebrities or influencers because we're all just people. We're all created in the image of God. We're sisters, brothers, parents, kids. Like we're people. And so to attack anyone, I also don't like to do that with kids. And that goes along with when celebrities or influencers end up getting in trouble for something because their lives are streamed everywhere. They usually get caught saying something wrong, doing something wrong. And while they should be held accountable for that, we also need to remember that they're just people who need to be loved and people who are trying to make money and do whatever, live their lives. But, maybe seeing the humanness and reality of the situation for our kids, like for them to see that, could help them kind of navigate how to both appreciate things like skincare without getting wrapped up in it and having to have all the things that everyone else has. Because today, like you said, it's unattainable. Like, at least in our day, we could buy Guess jeans. If we had enough money, it was just more realistic, the things that we could do that everyone had, but now it's just wild, all the things that kids need. So
there are some videos out there where it shows like, hey, here's the product, and they show the price, and then here's the other product, which is very similar for a much cheaper price at Target or at Walmart. So now influencers are coming out with that
brilliant.
too, to help, because they're realizing, hey, these preteens and teens can't afford these super expensive products. Not everyone can. And it's not just one product. I mean, they want so many of these products, And so now I think there's a little bit kind of a call to that, like you're saying, like, okay, this is getting really pricey for these young kids. Like they're not even old enough to work yet. Like,
I know, it's our money. We're the ones paying for it.
And we're the ones who need the product. I look yellow right now.
I know. Oh my goodness, my kids, like my oldest daughter has always had way better makeup than I've ever had. Like she has so much Nice stuff. And both my girls have better like name brand stuff than I have. Because if I, like I'll take the money and buy it for them for presents, but it's not as much like a thing for me. I don't know. Like my friends, I appreciate like name brand things. And I like to have, like, I'll have a thing here or there, but for them, it's more important than maybe for me. So yeah, my kids have nicer things than I ever had. So that I still have, but I'm happy. I'm content. And on that note, as you were saying, the influencers starting to show things that are less expensive, I've also noticed recently, I've been seeing videos of mom influencers who are showing their houses as they are, and their message is, I'm thankful for my normal house. I'm thankful for my normal kitchen. And they show just a regular kitchen, like with old brown cabinets, like granite countertops, stuff on the counters, not messy, but like, I love my house as it is. I don't have to make everything perfect and remodel everything, because for a while, like all the remodel shows and you're always looking and you're like, oh, my house is so dated. And I think it comes down to, for all of us in the whole influencer world, is contentment, struggling to be content with what you have and not jealous, envious, feeling shame or whatever for what you don't have or who you aren't, because you're not living up to all these unrealistic expectations. So, do you let your girls look through Instagram and stuff?
My kids don't have social media. They can watch. This is so funny.
Tell me.
This is so funny. They so they can only watch like their iPads or the television on Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. And now they had YouTube Kids on their iPads, but now we only give them 1 minute to watch YouTube Kids.
What?
It's so funny. They're so bitter. It's hilarious. But it's because if they're going to watch YouTube Kids, I want it on the television. So like they can only watch YouTube Kids or the television or a movie on Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the weekends. And also our weekends are super busy and they all have like activities on Friday nights. So it's very short amount of time that they can actually watch any type of show or YouTube. But I want it on the television because I want to see what they're watching. I want to be aware of what's happening. And because part of it, and you would know that, is a lot of kids, once they watch one video, then they watch the next one and the next one. It's called like, they're like binge watching it essentially. Well, by doing that, sometimes like another one will pop up that's not that show that they're watching, but it's something like, oh, you might be interested in this. And then maybe they click on that. Well, that's not what you were originally watching, right? You know how it gives you all those extra ideas. And so just to kind of, I'm just going to say it so I can have more control, so I can be aware.
Angie, just safe space. This is a safe space. Angie needs more control.
Well, there's 5 of them. I mean, Riley's different because she's 14 and she has different electronics or what have you because she's a teenager. So I'm talking, I guess, from like the younger 4. But to monitor what 4 children are watching on iPads, that was getting a little too tricky.
That's a lot.
Too tricky. So it has to be pretty much on the television. Your screen just turned orange.
Oh, you know why?
Are you trying to look like me?
No, I didn't know what happened to you. Look like you. I don't have any yellow stickies. I just have orange. This was on Chris's computer and just fell.
Oh, a little sticky note.
That's so funny. I was like, what happened? Anyway, I didn't notice it for a second because I was listening. No, that's brilliant. I like it, putting it on the screen, like TV, so everyone can see it. And yeah, it's true. Even like, because I like the Instagram and I love watching reels. The problem is if you accidentally watch something or like you put your phone down and it's playing it, then you get tons of those. And I'm like, no, no. Like the other day I was confused. There was like a video and it looked like a mom and son. And I was like, what is this? And then and it was a song about their love, and then it showed him 18, she was 41, and then it's like 10 years later, and it's he's 28, she's 51, and they have all these kids, and they show their wedding picture, and I was like, oh, it's like, okay, like a whole May December thing, and I just scrolled on. Next thing you know, like the next 3 videos are those kind of videos. I'm like, okay, you guys, we need a reset. We need a redo. So, and that's me, a middle-aged woman, like, but for these kids, like, even if they're not paying attention and they start, the logarithm picks up on whatever they're pausing on. So they have to be really careful. So I like that. I think that's great. So what about your teenager?
She doesn't have social media. So
does she watch like at school, like her friends?
I mean, I guess so, but they're not allowed to have their phones on at school. Oh. They're really strict about it at school. But I mean, I guess she sees videos. Well, maybe she'll see clips on YouTube, because there's all those dances. That's been kind of that influencer
TikTok
thing.
dances.
Is the TikTok dances, but you can see that on YouTube or YouTube Kids. Like they post it on there too.
You can see it everywhere. I see it on Instagram like an adult.
You're seeing TikTok. You're seeing TikTok. Do you have a TikTok?
I need a TikTok. My mouth's kind of dry. That's how old we are. It's on that TikTok. You watching the TikTok?
See, I don't have one. Clearly, I don't have a TikTok account.
I feel like Mother Funny has a TikTok. We've just never used it.
We need to. This is going on TikTok right now.
This is going on the TikTok. This is going on TikTok.
When Angie, who looks yellow, is calling it TikTok. The TikTok dances are on Instagram.
The TikTok dances can go on Instagram Reels, yes.
So that's how you're seeing it. So somehow those TikTok dances, like especially the younger ones, kids just like watching and doing and seeing, or like when a group of girls get together, like they'll get those TikTok dances and they'll like do the dance together. And it's super fun because it's a group of girls like doing some fun little, dances. Yeah. And stuff. Really cute.
And they all dance way better than we did at that age.
100%.
Like you're all, whoa. Like back in my day, like a really good dance, like when they had a movie or something and they'd show somebody who danced really well, like even Dirty Dancing, they would just like jump up in the air, or they would like in Dirty Dancing, or they would do like a flip, like a forward flip. And that was this huge moment. Now the stuff they do is incredible. My friend, one of my good friends really loves this group. Oh, I think it's called Funkonometry. And they're just like these young adult boys, and their dances are incredible. It's just these 2 kids, and their dances are like mesmerizing.
We're not sponsored by them.
But if they would like to, if those influencers, they're definitely our demographic. We have a lot of young influencer dancer guys who listen to our podcast, Mother Funny.
I need to also state we are not sponsored by Braveheart. Even though you see this poster in the background.
But if Mel Gibson would like to sponsor us.
This is not product placement.
How much are you being paid, influencer Angie?
We're not being paid by Star Wars either. Or Lego. They're not sponsoring us either.
But George is sponsoring us right there.
Nice.
George.
He just looked. I do have to say, for this amazing Braveheart, I've seen it once and I was like in my 20s. But back when I was in high school, it had come out and I was at this like Christian conference, and it was all about like breaking free and freedom in Christ, which, okay, super awesome. Great for, high schoolers to learn about. Awesome. Then all of a sudden, this guy walks out with a sword, a real life sword. Like it was a sword. It was not a fake sword. It was a sword. And they were like, we're going to take turns. And literally, like, you went to the front and everyone you did not have the option not to do this, like, everybody had to do this, and you had to, like, go to the front of the stage and kneel down, and they literally took the sword and, like, tapped you on the shoulder with this real life sword. And this was a big conference. It took forever. And like worship music was playing. And all I could think about when I was like kneeling and they had this sword, and I was like, please don't chop off my ear. Please don't chop off my ear. Like I was so concerned. I felt
Like the stuff the church did for youth.
And like
Oh
I
my
grew
gosh,
up,
that's
like I'm
amazing.
homeschooled, and all I could think of like is Van Gogh's ear, like how he chopped off his ear. Like I went to the homeschool.
You did a lot of Meet the Masters classes, huh? That's a homeschool art class called Meet the Masters.
I was like, I'm gonna be Van Gogh. Like I'm gonna have a sliced off ear because of the sword.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's so funny. The
But
stuff.
I had never seen
stuff we used to
Braveheart
do.
because I was in high school, and that was like, we watched PG movies because I was homeschooled and little Christian girl. I'm like, I'm doing this to this Braveheart movie I never saw, never wanted to see it. Like, still acting it out, and the guy like yelled, like he took his sword and he yelled like freedom, and everybody yelled freedom, and I'm like, all right, like I was trying to like get in it, like freedom, but I don't know the significance or behind that because of the movie. Because again, I was like in 10th grade. Shout out homeschool, high schooler, little Christian girl and a sword. But not till I watched it later, like when I was in my 20s, was I like, oh, I get the freedom part. I get it now. I still would never ever recommend someone having a real life sword that's super sharp. Ever.
Like tapping
Every
a bunch of kids.
person.
He was the original youth pastor influencer, it sounds like. This is what we had back in the day for influencers. We're like, that's weird. And nobody else saw it but the people in the room. And then you just heard tales. You're like, oh my gosh, when I was a kid, I went to this conference and a guy yelled freedom and then hit us all with a sword. Like, that's what we had. It's different these days.
Maybe that's why I'm like,
It's
if a
different.
preteen girl wants to go buy some skincare products, fine. Fine. It could be worse.
Do it. If you want to dance, great.
We had Noxzema and toothpaste, and we survived. They'll be fine with their $80 skincare product. I'm not concerned.
Oh
And
my
there's
gosh.
sunscreen. This generation growing
Sunscreen.
up, like their skin's gonna look amazing when they're our age.
They're going to be amazing dancers. They're going to have much better quality food than we had. They're going to be well rested, in tune with their mental health, kind. These are all the hopes I have for them, because this is the positive part of social media and influence, is that there can be really good things. I think what it comes down to, what I hear you saying, is that our tip or trick would be monitoring. Just a very good monitoring, a very like strong influence in their lives and just knowing what, whatever they watch, like ask questions and try to learn like what they're into. I mean, I know as a mom, like we would watch shows or movies and there would be these super like famous people show up or whatever on the movie or TV that everyone seemed to know. And I'd be like, who are they? And my kids would be like, oh, they're just famous on TikTok, or, oh, they're famous on YouTube. That they knew all these celebrities. I didn't know because I don't spend hours watching TikTok and YouTube. If they were on Instagram, I might know them. So, well, even these like reality shows where they have like celebrity this, celebrity that. Now celebrities a lot of times are influencers. So middle-aged women don't necessarily know them as much. But yeah, asking questions I think is always good. Reminding them of what is reality and really working. I think the biggest hurdle we have as parents with the influencer generation is learning contentment. And that's it. That's not very funny.
No. At least you admit it.
Sorry.
That was great.
My voice is cracking
She
though.
needs a Tic Tac.
I hope that's fun. I need a Tic Tac. Speaking of influencers, I have some bent stickers for anybody who would like. I threw the word sticker
That
I
one's
don't know.
missing an O.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did get a.
It's not
This
even
one's
spelled
missing an
correctly.
O. I will give you this one's missing a G. So if you would like 2 stickers that are misprints, that's why they're up here.
For those listening on the podcast
Anyway.
and not watching us and not seeing how I
Sorry.
am radiant and yellow with Braveheart in the background, Andy just held up 2 through the word stickers or decals. Essentially.
And they're missing letters. They're rejects.
I have
But I would give them to you if you asked. If you reach out on Instagram, not TikTok. If you reach out on Instagram, I will mail these to you. I will mail these to you, and maybe you can combine the 2 to make one sticker. And if you can't see it, then follow us on the TikTok where we put this, and you can see them. Here's my Stanley. I'm not influenced by culture at all.
I would like to say for everyone to hear, I don't have a Stanley. My kids might, but I'm holding on to Yeti.
But can we? I'm like, let's talk about Yeti though, because you can't be all bragging about not having a Stanley when I'm sure you have plenty of Yeti.
And Hydro Flask. I know we've talked about it in the past, but I just want to say I survived another whole Christmas season, and I still have my Yeti. I am not.
I love you. But here's the thing. Mine's getting damaged and cracked, and I'm going to keep him, and I just put stickers. And I want to get the sticker of Stanley Roper from Three's Company, a sticker of his face, and put it there. You're too young, and you probably didn't get to watch Three's Company because it was not the most moral of 80s shows.
I didn't grow up watching it. Are you trying to combine the like Hydro Flask stickers with your super cool Stanley? You're like combining trends is what you're doing.
Well, I'm also trying to be more sustainable and not just throwing a bunch of Stanleys in landfills. So I'm going to keep him as scratched up as he is because he insulates well. He fits in my cup holder. He holds like 40, I don't know how many ounces, but I'm very hydrated. I bought a pack of straws. So I'm just going to keep, I don't know if I'm going to have to paint him, but this is my last water bottle craze. This is it. Stanley for me for life. I've said it here. It's sometime in January 2024. I don't even know what day it is.
Andy is a Stanley influencer.
Stanley, listen. In 20 years,
this is your advertisement for Stanley.
This is my advert on our influencer episode. Well, the funny thing, okay, we're out of time. I'm going to tell you the funny thing about my cup. I had a different colored cup, but I got this one as a present. My daughter took my old one. So I only have one Stanley. Well, actually, I bought a travel Stanley. Doesn't count. Anyway.
Whatever you have to tell yourself. A Stanley is a Stanley.
Look, I would take this on Spirit. And there's no place to put this on Spirit. And I literally spilled it all over Chris's seat because it's not waterproof. I mean, water.
No, they're not. That would have been nice to know before my girls got Stanleys at the beginning of the school year. Yeah, they leak.
Yes.
Stanleys leak. Let me tell you.
They don't even leak. They pour.
It doesn't leak or pour? Yetis. When my girls had Yetis and Hydro Flasks, we did not have this issue.
Yeah. Well, so I bought a travel Stanley that doesn't leak. This one leaks.
How many ounces is it?
So,
no, your
it's
travel
like 20.
One. It's
shorter. My travel one's smaller. Yeah. So it's a smaller one. It has a handle and it closes.
Does it fit in a backpack?
So
like the cup holder area in the backpack?
It does.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I'll show you. Maybe on the next episode, I'll show you my travel Stanley. But okay, so I got my Stanley because I decided I wanted, I'd been using Starbucks cups and they kept breaking. The inner seal would break because I had the venti reusable ones and they kept breaking. I had them for years. And then I bought I wanted a Stanley for Christmas one year. I was like, Chris, I want a Stanley. And I sent him the link. Well, he looks at the link, sees it's like $40. And my husband's like, so he goes to Target and finds a knockoff, right? But doesn't tell me. I get all the packages at our house. So all of a sudden a Target package comes around Christmas, and I had ordered stuff on Target. I open it and I see this like Target fake Stanley. It's like plastic. And I literally put it right in the car, drove it to Target, returned it, and got a Stanley from that same Target. Brought it home, wrapped it, put it under the tree. Didn't say anything. Chris forgot about it. And then at Christmas, I'm like, look what I got. And he was like, wow. I don't remember. It was hilarious. Anyway.
I like that you wrapped it. Like you went to the extra effort to wrap it. Like you kept the whole thing a secret, but you even wrapped it. Like
I wrapped it for him.
You did all the things. So he
was busy.
He couldn't say like, that's not what I got you. Take it back. Like it was wrapped and under the tree. Like it's fair game, buddy. If it's wrapped and under the tree, it is
done.
what it is. You
like he forgot about
Stanley.
it. I did. I got Stanley. So anyway, we're way over time.
We are again.
We'll have a whole episode on Stanleys and Yetis.
For sure. It's going to be amazing. But that won't be next week. That's to come. That's not coming.
It's not. I'm turning red. I think I'm getting warm.
Hopefully next time I won't.
All right, everyone. I'm going to talk like this the whole time. All right, guys.
So loud.
This is why I can't have a video.
I know. I kind of feel like we're too immature to handle this.
We can't handle this.
Do you ever FaceTime?
We're gonna
I
try.
hate FaceTiming. But anytime I do FaceTime, which is literally for like 30 seconds because I hate FaceTiming, I'm literally making faces the whole time. Like,
yeah, you put on this.
And Ryan will try to talk to you. And I'm like, I can't do it.
I make my son look at my eyeball. I always get my eyeball really close and it twitches and I make him look at it. It's a thing. Okay, if you like us and share us, I will send you, and you tell me on Instagram only. I will send you through the word stickers that are missing letters.
That's just sad.
And that's
just really sad. We can't end there. Sorry. If you want to.
Why is that sad? Maybe I'll put it on my Stanley if nobody does it.
I mean, I don't want to be that person, but like you could also throw them away. Like they're broken stickers. They're missing parts. Or combine it.
That's why you just take the G. Wait, the G from this one. Or the O from this one. And you would have one good sticker.
If you guys want that, that's awesome. I mean, you do you. It's all good.
All right. Till next time. All right. That's all we have time for today. We got to wrap it up, unfortunately. But just remember, you might think you're doing just okay, but we think you're doing really great.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. We hope you have a great Mother Funny day. Please like and share our podcast.
But please don't tell our moms.